The Jason Cabin Experience. I'm your host, Jason Cabinets. Our guest today is Vikram, co-founder of Pictory, an AI video platform built to make video creation and content repurposing accessible to everyone. Vikram, thanks for being here today.
Thank you, Jason. It's a pleasure.
So, I always try to start with hopefully it's a softball question with all my guests. Can you talk about either how you take care of yourself or what you do for fun, like maybe some of your hobbies?
Absolutely. Being in the Pacific Northwest, one of the coolest things you can do is get outside. So I try to get out as much as I can. So hiking, skiing, kayaking, whatever we can do outside, weather permitting. So that's it's a good one because it takes care of yourself, and then also it's fun being outside in nature. And then anything physical, running, yoga, meditation. I'll do like all kinds of self-care activities.
So how often do you go kayaking?
Uh, that's more in the summer. So I would
Summertime?
say, yeah, summer, maybe a few times in the summer.
Yeah. You have your favorite skiing spots?
My favorite here is Mount Baker.
Okay.
Mount Baker is so beautiful.
Yeah.
It's the best, and it's never crowded.
Oh, it's not?
It's never very crowded.
Okay. Yeah, this is a beautiful place. Like Seattle gets a lot of negative stuff all the time, but man, when it's and of course November, January, it's kind of tough to be here, right? But like when it's nice here, it's like very nice here.
Like today, it's
Yeah.
beautiful outside. Yeah,
Yesterday was nice. Yeah.
yeah.
Um. So how often do you make a concerted effort to take care of yourself? Is it like part of your plan? Like is it like in your calendar, so to speak? Like hey, like spend time every day doing something like to take care of yourself.
Absolutely, absolutely. I take at least an hour of some kind of physical activity, and then about 30 to 40 minutes of meditation. Is kind of on my
Mhm.
routine every day, and then getting out hiking over the weekend for sure.
Why is that two-part question? Why is that so important to you? Why do you think so many people in general like tend to like, okay, I know it's important to take care of my health, but like this like events take over and they don't do it.
Uh, you have to make time for it because you're right. Events do take over. It's energizing for me. Like I think the rest of the life becomes possible because I can do all of this stuff, and then also vice versa. Then I do all this stuff so I can work so I can take care of myself as well.
And for your meditation, that's an everyday thing also.
Yes, absolutely. That's 7 days.
And you have like a meditation person you follow, some kind of meditation app, or you just like,
I have a lot of people I follow. My wife is a meditation teacher, so she'll lead sometimes my meditation practice. Sometimes there'll be people we follow. My favorite is Tara Brock. She has a podcast and she usually have a meditation, like a 30 to 40 minute practice after that I'll do. Uh, and there's a bunch of other people like in that Buddhist tradition, Thich Nhat Hanh. There's a bunch of other people that I really like their meditations.
nice. So neither one of us are in the 20s anymore, right? Have you found it like harder as older you get, the more to take care of yourself physically?
It feels more important now. And yes, definitely it is. Like the being outside, going for a run is not as easy anymore. Going on a hike gets you tired, or skiing
Mm.
gets you your knees
Yeah.
wound up. So absolutely, but I think I feel more important that as you get older to do it more and to yeah move about.
Yeah. So how many times a year do you go skiing? Do you go skiing or snowboarding or both?
I ski,
Okay.
yeah. So in the season, I'll try to go 3 or 4 times
Okay.
in one of the ski areas
And you like
nearby.
you take a like weekend trip with your family, you just like do a 1 day thing.
It's a day trip usually.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's one thing about being in Seattle, like everything's so close.
yes,
Like the ocean, you go deep sea fishing in Westport, that's like 2 3 hours away. Mountains like close, yeah.
exactly. Yeah, everything is day trips right
Yeah.
now.
I remember one time I was in South Lake Union or something, right? And I was walking, I seen these two young ladies go out to this store with like snowboards. Like, man, it's like where you going? I thought, oh, whoa, and I forgot like how close the snow was, right? 'Cause it was sunny and said like, what are you doing snowboards? I'm like, oh shit, like yeah, there's probably just a day trip you're doing, right?
The same day you can kayak and you can go snowboarding.
Yeah. Um, how long you been meditating?
Uh, at least 15 years.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's a
And can you
regular
talk about maybe
practice.
some of the personal benefits you've gotten out of it?
So I'll tell you what some of the things that I feel like things have changed in my personality. I feel more connected, more present, more open. Uh, I feel happier. I feel calmer. There's tons of benefits, and it's been kind of a slow thing. It's not like you start and you see that right away. It's like working out. You know, the muscle building takes a while to
Yeah.
show up, and to me, meditation is like a mental muscle building to some degree.
So in one of your past lives, you're a research scientist, right?
I did, yes, I was a research
So
scientist.
what is that? It's like data science, like research. What does that even mean?
Yeah, so my first job, so I went to UW for my grad school, and I finished my PhD there. And my first job out of UW was at a company called MathSoft, and the job was a research scientist. And it was basically, you know, coming up with new ideas, coming up with new ways of looking at data, software, uh, coming up with almost new applications of the product that they had built. And so it was very open ended. So we had some government grants that we would get. There's a government program called SBIR, Small Business Innovative
Yeah,
Research.
I'm familiar with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I got an SBIR, two or three SBIR grants over there, and that's kind of what I was doing. And we were building new products for the medical domain using AI back 25 years ago. So it was really fun.
And so what year did you get your PhD?
I finished in '96, so
Okay.
it would be 30 years now.
And so this is probably a dumb question, but once you get a PhD, you have to you have your PhD for life, or do you have to go back and get recertified or something? Like once you have it.
No, you have it.
Okay.
You have the PhD doctorate
Okay.
credential, but you don't have to get it recertified.
Okay. So and you got your bachelor's and master's from a college in the country of India.
Bachelor's I got from India,
Okay.
and then I got my master's and PhD from UW here
Okay.
in Seattle.
Were there any differences in education, like how education is done here in the United States versus India, that you can talk about or notice, or is like education is pretty much the same?
No, it's very different. Indian education is very, I would say, conservative, traditional, maybe how it might have been here, 50, 100 years ago. It's very book oriented as opposed to thinking or experience oriented. So there's a big difference coming from an Indian education system to the U.S. education system.
So when you came to the United States, did you find you had some kind of advantage by going to college in India versus being like a United States education background?
At that time, I felt a little bit of an advantage, and largely it was because we did a lot of advanced math as undergrads. Even in high school, we did a lot of math, and so I felt like my math skills were quite a bit ahead of what a U.S. graduate had at that time, an engineering graduate.
And I always say like India is very competitive, right? They're getting to college, getting to schools. It's like competitive since from almost the first day of school, right?
Yes.
There's rank orders and tests, all that kind of stuff, and parents put a lot of pressure on you.
All kinds of things.
Yeah.
My parents didn't put a lot of pressure on me, but I put a lot of pressure on myself. So, but yes, it's very competitive. Big country, billion people.
Yeah, I don't think people realize how big India is, right? I mean, I think size-wise, it's like kind of like not the biggest, but as far as population, it's like
It's the biggest.
Yeah.
It's the biggest.
who has more people, India or China? Is that kind of close?
India just exceeded China in the
Okay.
number of people like
Okay,
3 or 4 years ago.
man, that's insane.
Yeah.
And what part of India were you at? Were you
I grew up all over.
okay?
But my parents are from North India.
Okay.
So just north of New Delhi is an area called Punjab, and that's kind of where they're from.
And so, why the United States for college versus like England or Britain or Australia? That's kind of I just said England or Britain were the same damn country, but you know what I mean.
After I finished my bachelor's, one of the things I really I got excited about in college was my degree was in electrical engineering, and I really got excited about applying electrical engineering to healthcare, medicine, And I'm like, okay, if I want to pursue this, what's the best places to pursue it
Mm.
at? And I looked at all the world of colleges, Canada and UK and Australia, but the best universities were in the US,
Yeah.
and in almost any field, even now.
Mm.
So the two best biomedical engineering programs there were University of Washington and Ohio State
Okay.
University. So that's kind of it was.
Nice.
Yeah.
And was it like really competitive for you to get accepted to University of Washington, and you had to go through all the immigrant stuff you had to go through, or?
Yeah. There's a bunch of there's a GRE that you have to take.
Mhm.
Anybody applying to grad school has to take. But additional things that we had to do was like a test of English as a
Mhm.
foreign language, and then of course you had to get the GPA right, all
Yeah.
that good stuff. Uh, but but the biggest part, as in any college education in America, is it's expensive,
Yeah.
and my parents couldn't afford to
Mhm.
pay for it. So, fortunately, I was able to get a fellowship from the University of Washington.
Okay.
So that paid for my education here and gave me some grants as well to cover some of the research that I was doing.
One thing I always find interesting, like like in general, it's in like most people think United States schools, as far as like high school, junior high, and elementary, like below par, subpar, whatever. Like we rank like mid level as far as our test scores and stuff, but yet everyone wants to come to college, right? Oh, you want to know what's the disconnect between how good our colleges are to like how bad our regular schools are perceived, right? I've never been able to figure that out.
I know what you mean. Yeah, it's the colleges are amazing and top class, and high school seems to
Not so much
always
sometimes,
there.
yeah.
But also, I think we look at averages and average scores versus the top high schools are probably really good.
Yeah,
as good as
that's
anywhere
true.
in the world. Yeah.
That's a good point. Yeah, a good point. So you were like 18, 19 when you came over to the States?
22.
22? Okay, that's right, 22, yeah.
Yeah.
And this, you came here, obviously you came here by yourself and to Seattle and...
Yeah, I came here by myself to Seattle in the fall. It was very nice the first few days.
Yeah, and then the true
raining.
Seattle came.
Yeah, but then I met as I was doing my grad school, I met my wife here, and she was in Seattle, and she's lived there, and my to-be wife at that time, and we dated for a few years, and then I found a job here, so it kind of this became home,
Yeah.
and then I,
How often do you go back to India?
at least once a year, if not
Okay.
more. Yeah.
All right. And as far as like off topic, I'm guessing Indian food here in the United States is totally different from real Indian food.
Actually, it's very good now.
Okay.
By the way, like
It gotten a lot better.
especially in areas where there is a lot of Indian population, like Seattle is now become there's a lot of Indian population now. So when I came way back when 30 years ago, it wasn't that great Indian food.
Okay.
But now, as the population
pretty close
has grown,
now.
it's very good. It's very
Okay.
good. You can find some restaurants that are as good here as you might find in India. But my favorite restaurants, Indian restaurants, are in actually Vancouver,
Okay.
just across the border up here, and they have the best Indian food. Even like I think that some of the restaurants are better than what I've had in India too.
Nice, nice. And then can you talk about some of the culture shock you had moving here from India, if you remember them?
There was a lot of things, and there's some funny things that like the first thing that was funny to me was everybody smile at you. That doesn't happen in India. People don't just smile at you. So very friendly people, which was really nice. But I had a really hard time making friends. So you got a lot of friendly people, but not a lot of friends. That was one big culture shock. And
So you think that's part of the Seattle freeze they always talk about?
it may be, yes. I came to read about it later, and I was like, that may be it. It's part of the culture here. Yeah. But I went to Texas recently, and since you're from Texas, and it was an opposite experience.
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah.
It was like people were so warm.
In Texas, they say, "Hey, darling, how you doing? Hey, honey, what can I help you with? Have a good day." They don't do that here in the Seattle area. Yeah.
Yeah.
Texas, they wave at you.
Yeah, we had like so many random conversations, and
Yeah.
really good conversations. We're still in touch with some of those people. We just met for a 2-day holiday.
Yeah.
We were there. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely a different culture, no doubt about that. Um, do you have any favorite Indian restaurants here in Seattle?
There's one called Chutneys
Okay,
in
I
Bellevue.
I think I've heard that one before.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, Chutneys in Bellevue is probably one of the best.
Okay. Next, can you talk about a company called I think it's called Wind Shuttle that you co-founded?
Yeah. Yes. So a few years after I was working as a research scientist, I got this super interesting opportunity that I saw um, in a field that I had no familiarity with. Like this wasn't biomedical engineering, it wasn't electrical engineering. It was nothing that I'd done before, but it was around data, and that's like I've always been excited about data and AI and so on. So um, it was the whole premise of Wind Shuttle was that it made it really easy to connect SAP with Office type applications, especially Excel, and SAP is used by every big company that you probably heard of, and there's an SAP HR module
Mm-hmm.
since you're in the HR tech space. There's SAP Finance, accounting, supply chain, everything for a company, big company like Nike or Starbucks. They run their business on SAP, the backend systems, and but at the same time, the users run on Excel. Everybody uses Excel, and uh, and so there is a big pain point in you have data in Excel that needs to go into SAP, or you have data from SAP that needs to come into Excel for analysis or reporting and stuff. And there was a big pain point that we saw, and we found this tech that really solved this very effectively. You didn't need programmers, a business person like an HR IS person or a um, you know accounting person can connect
Mm-hmm.
themselves and pull and push data between SAP and Excel. And it just that was the business we started, and we grew significantly.
And was this your first experience as an entrepreneur?
Yes, that was my first experience as an entrepreneur.
Um, so how was that first experience for you? What you expected, or you like most founders, like man, what am I doing this for? And like tearing your hair out, all that kind of stuff. And
So I'll tell you something interesting about product market fit. So you can we a lot of people spend a lot of years trying to find that product market fit, right? Um, Another way to find product market fit is to find a software that already has a product market fit and acquire it. So that's kind of what we ended up doing in the case of Wind Shuttle. So we found the software that SAP consultant, who by the way today we're still in touch, and he's a great friend of mine. He had developed and he had a handful of customers that were using it. So we knew he had the product market fit already, but he just didn't want to scale it. So so he was looking to sell the company, to sell the business to someone that could scale it. And and I looked at the problem and I like, okay, this I don't know this field, but I can see product market fit when I see it, and it needs capital infusion. So it ended up like a couple of us came together. We put our houses on second mortgage. We acquired this technology from him, and then we built the business on top of it. So it was like a business built on acquisition rather than from 0 to 1. I would say it was from like point one to one.
and what happened to the business? You sold it, you shut it down, or
So
something else?
we grew it significantly. Like we bought when we bought there was like 5 6 customers. When we grew it over the next 15 years, we had about 300 employees at the peak, and we had about 10,000 customers, and then we sold it to a private equity firm.
Okay.
Yeah, so everybody kind of had a decent exit. We took some investors along the way.
Nice. And how long was the company? How long did you have the company?
About 15 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. So next, can you talk about your work with the K to 12 education in underserved communities?
Yeah, so I I'm very excited about technology, and one of the things that I see is how can that help in education, right? So that's kind of what led to the formation of Pictory to some degree as well, my current company. But also, I started volunteering with a few different organizations, especially around education in India and how we can help, how technology can help. One of the shifts that happened a few years ago in India, but all over the world, was mobile. As mobile came around, it's just like the availability of technology just opened up. So today, even in the remotest parts of India and in the poorest of the household, they may not have a toilet, but they'll have a phone. They'll have a smartphone in their house. So that's been one big shift that we've seen, and so we're trying to figure out how we can use that, leverage that to help education.
Yeah, I definitely think that's one thing in the United States that's wrong. I think there's a big tech gap here. It's almost like, like the haves with all the technology are getting like more AI, more stuff, and the rural areas or the poor areas are like still like lacking behind, right?
Um, it may be, but again, I think if you think about mobile phone penetration,
Hmm.
it's huge. Even
Even
here,
here in the United States?
yeah,
Okay.
and broadband penetration
Hmm.
is also very high. You can get
Even like in
you
the
can get
rural
that.
areas?
Um, I don't have data
Yeah.
to say otherwise, but I would guess so.
Okay. Um, so do you, so this education thing you do, you have a nonprofit that you work with or anything like that? Or is this
Yeah, I work with a couple of different
mhm.
nonprofits around education. I didn't start any of those
Okay,
nonprofits, but I support them.
support them, yeah.
Yeah,
And how much of your time does this take up?
just I would say volunteering. I spent maybe 5 to 6 hours a week on community volunteering, nonprofit activities.
Okay. Next, you did a LinkedIn post recently where you did a poll. I think you did a poll where people wanted you to like get rid of your octopus logo because they said it's a
Yeah.
cartoon character or whatever.
Yes.
I'm guessing you decided to keep it, right?
We decided to keep it. We still have the octopus.
Yeah. So does octopus like signify anything, or is like supposed to mean anything?
Octopus to me, it's a fascinating creature. I don't know. There's a Netflix documentary on my friend, the octopus teacher, and that really got to me, that movie, because it was like, you know, it's a completely different creature.
And
Like
that's like they're really really smart too, right?
they're smart.
They're super smart.
Yeah, and they're the farthest in our evolution chain. Like
Mm.
so they say like the branch from which octopuses come from and the branch from which humans came
Mm.
from, they diverged the long ago, really
Yeah.
long ago. So if you're likely to meet an alien, it might be an octopus.
Yeah. I mean,
So different.
I always joke like if aliens do come, they're gonna go to octopuses first for us, you know.
They might, yeah, they might look like them. I don't know, but and then they're smart, and then they're multifaceted, like multiple hearts,
Yeah.
multiple arms that do independent things.
I always thought it was crazy. They could go like the littlest hole right there, could fit the whole by this little hole and escape and stuff, you know.
That's exactly right, and it's it's like a perfect. I think for AI, it's like a great metaphor,
Hmm.
right? I mean, you have this artificial
Yeah.
intelligence or alien intelligence that can do so many different things in such a different way.
So does someone reach out to you and say, "Hey, you should change your logo," or like how did that even come about that discussion?
Inside the company, there was a lot of discussions like,
Okay.
okay, if you're gonna sell to larger companies,
If you're gonna be a
they're
real
not gonna.
company,
Yes, exactly.
yeah,
The octopus may not fly.
yeah. And your brand color is purple.
Yes.
Why purple? What's the reason behind that?
Um, I don't have a good reason. Purple just looks good
Just
on
like the
the
color.
octopus. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Um, so next, you also on the board of a YMCA too, right?
Yes, that's part of my community volunteering activity.
I think it's in Snohomish. I think
Snohomish County. Yeah.
Is that where you live at?
Yes.
Okay. Talk about what you do with them.
So as a board member, like a lot of it is, you know, talking about the why to the community, because people think of why as a gym, and I use it as a gym and swimming and use it as a gym, and but there's so much that the why does around the community, like they do food drives during Thanksgiving. Like we had a major, like we did 20,000 meals, and we delivered to the community who couldn't afford meals around Thanksgiving. Like that, you don't think of why associated with those kind of activities. And so I get involved in all the different kinds of activities. Like right now, I'm doing something really fun there. At the end of the month, we're gonna do a teen hackathon. We were talking about tools like Replit and Lovable and stuff. So I'm going to teach teens vibe coding,
Okay.
and then we're going to do a day-long hackathon for teens at the YMCA.
Nice. That's nice.
Yeah.
So it sounds like a lot of entrepreneurs, of course, they're busy doing the company, but a lot of them find time to do volunteer stuff, right? Why do you think most entrepreneurs like find it important, like do the volunteer stuff in addition to all the stuff they're doing with their own startup?
I think it's about giving back, but it's more about being grateful and being connected to the community. So what made you successful was not you.
Yeah.
It was the community around you. And so by staying connected with the community, it feels very fulfilling.
Yeah. So next, I pulled this from your LinkedIn post recently. I'm read the whole thing. I want to do a deep dive on this. So you said I think you did like a blog, not a blog post, but like just a post on LinkedIn. I pulled this. Remote work fails when companies use it as a perk instead of a system. Values cannot be vague. Communication cannot be operational. Listening cannot be selective. Leaders have to work harder, not less. I think the part right there, leaders have to work harder, not less. I think so many leaders, everyone's at home, and it's like it's the opposite, right? Leaders have to work way more when everyone's not there, right?
I literally start my day at 6:30, and sometimes it goes until 9:30 in the evening, because there are people all over the world. So as a leader, you have to be available, you have to be approachable, and to me, that's what remote works. While it feels like a privilege, it's a lot of hard work to come to maintain and manage.
Yeah. So what are some tricks or trade you've learned as far as like having a remote company?
I think one big thing that may be a personality thing, but trust. Trust is a big thing. So you have to trust your team to deliver, and because you can't micromanage somebody if you're remote.
Yeah.
So you have to have full faith that you'll get what you've asked for.
And your whole team's remote? Like there's no one that works in office with you and like that? Everyone's like works remote?
We don't have an office, yeah.
Okay.
Any office in any part of the world, yeah. We have a small meeting office, but that's only in Seattle. We have a few people.
I definitely think that's some ways people messed up in the past. Like I know you hear like a company be a hybrid, right? But I do think there's goodness. Like having everyone come and like do like networking, not network, like what's it called, brainstorming, right? But you hear companies like, hey, come in one day a week, pick your day, right? And so no one's at the office the same day, and I work for someone. I have to go to the office Tuesday, but yet there's a Zoom meeting. Like, why am I in the office on a Zoom meeting, right? And another thing people don't talk about either, like, suppose you have 20 people in your company, and you do an all hands meeting, right? And you decide some stuff, but you're the CEO before you actually work in the office, right? Afterwards, you decide to do something else, right?
Yes.
I just think there's in like bias if someone's with you every day, right? You can talk about performance, like stuff, but like if you like hanging out with someone and talking about Facebook and the Seattle Seahawks, and like is it fair or unfair? It's just the way it is. Like you're gonna have the innate favoritism because you see someone all the time.
Yeah. And communication, although it's the density of communication rises when you're face to face, like you and I are talking face to face. We can look at each other's eye. We can see what's connecting, what's resonating versus not. There's a lot of value in that. Don't get me wrong, but you don't need to do it just for that sake. You have to break it up. Like we did a all hands in person meetup in Thailand, like because people are everywhere in the world, so we have to figure out a place where we can all meet. So once every couple of years, we'll kind of get everyone together in one place, and that was an amazing experience because you work with all of them, but you don't see them, and we got 3 days of time where we were able to work in person and look at each other.
So I have to ask, like Thailand, I've been there a couple of times. Thailand's a great country, right? How in the world did you balance 3 days of work with having fun, right? Because to me, it was kind of hard like focus on Victoria when like the like Thailand, all the Thailand stuff is right there.
I know. We were in an isolated beach resort
Okay, so
away
that made
from.
made it easier.
It made it a little bit easier, but
Yeah.
it was a beautiful beach right there. So, but anyway, we worked, we balanced. Like folks went out in the evenings, and then
Yeah.
we were working all day, and then people were still checking their customer support issues and all that stuff, and yeah.
So of course, all the stats show that remote work has been proven, and people actually do more work, all that kind of stuff. But like, how do you actually like know that your workers are doing what they're supposed to do, right? Like,
So it's a lot of this is the hard part, right? This is where you have to have the metrics and measurements that show that hey, the productivity is there, right? So like we have lots of dashboards around there. At the end of the day, what matters is, are we moving our KPIs? It doesn't matter whether you're delivering with 4 hours of work
Yeah.
in a week, or you're working 80 hours. As long as you're meeting your deliverables and the company is meeting the KPIs, that's the key thing.
why do you think there's so many companies like J.P. Morgan, Amazon, who are like, okay, and others like, I know remote work works in theory, but come back to office. Do you think that's more like they've spent all the money on real estate, and they need to justify the real estate spend versus actual KPIs and stuff?
It may be, and I don't like there may be other reasons. In the finance industry, there's probably a lot of reasons why people need to be in the office. They can't access resources outside that. There is another value that people have in that innovation, brand new things. There is a lot of value in kind of having people together, brainstorming ideas and stuff. It has to be executed that way. Like save those all hands meets, those in-person things for innovative things, and again, I think the jury is still out and what works. And for us right now, remote first works great. We were able to hire talent from everywhere in the world, which is amazing.
How many countries do you have employees in or people working in?
I counted, it was about 8 countries.
8 countries, okay. And like these countries, like why did you pick to hire from these countries specifically, or just how it worked? Is this random?
It's a little bit random, but also there's like at my previous company, Wind Shuttle, it was in Seattle and in India. And so those two are kind of those two locations or those two geographies, US and India, became, because all our initial staff at Pictory was from Wind Shuttle. So we kind of have and then people know each other in those locations. They'll bring their friends and former colleagues together, and that's why it kind of, there are a couple of areas where we have critical mass, and then as we open jobs and people apply from everywhere in the world, we'll look at everything.
And you're based on Seattle time, like everything's based on Seattle, like meetings and stuff like that, and
Not always.
Okay.
Not always. That's why sometimes I'll take meetings late in the night. Also customers are everywhere in the world. So if somebody wants to meet at 9:30 Seattle time, I'll meet.
And so one thing I think, if everyone works your office, I think it might be easier, like actually like fire someone because you see what they're not doing right, whatever. It's just kind of easy. Hey, Jason, come in. You're not working out. We need to let you go, right? But is it harder to do that remotely, right? Because it's kind of messed up to fire someone over Zoom, right? So like,
I know it feels, firing anyone is hard. Is regardless, but
obviously you're not going to fly to, I don't know, India to fire someone, right?
No, we've done it over Zoom. So
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't seem. I know you have to do it that way, but I mean, something about it doesn't seem right,
I know. But the way I think of it is like I hired that person remotely.
I mean, I didn't think about that. That's a damn good point. Yeah.
So everything the whole relationship was remote.
And one thing, like in HR, people always talk about, hire slow. Like I'm not saying like hire someone after you meet them one day, right? But you really need the Amazon 20,000 meetings, whatever. Probably not. Everyone says fire fast. Like no one fires fast, right? It's always like it's Stacy's birthday. It's Christmas. And so how do you go about letting go of people?
The human way.
Human way, yeah.
I know. It's hard. You'd like to do that fast, but it's never easy.
And the challenge is once you do let Jason go, the whole company was like, man, what took him so long to get rid of Jason? You know,
Yes, yes, I know.
it's definitely a challenge. So talk about, so how do y'all communicate? It's like Slack, different
Slack,
channels.
yeah, Slack,
Slack's the
yeah,
main
a
one.
lot of Slack messages.
Okay, that's your
always.
main focus, Slack.
Yes, yeah, Google Meet and Slack.
Okay. And how many people do you have working for you now?
About 50 people at Pictory.
Okay. And y'all doing any hiring anytime soon or
We're hiring all the time.
all the time? Okay.
Yeah,
What kind of roles y'all generally hire for?
Uh, right now, actually, we just closed a design role. We had a design position open. We hired somebody in Argentina.
Okay.
It's the first. We've never had a person in Argentina. Um, we definitely have a couple of AI engineers that we're looking to hire.
Okay.
That's most likely going to be in India because I'm not sure we can afford San Francisco-based AI
Yeah, I
engineers.
think everyone like wants to hire U.S. developers, but man, it's like it's so expensive, right? And it seems like this is my personal experience. A lot of the U.S. developers, like they're nowhere close to as good as I think they are, right? Like for example, right? Like U.S. developer want $100,000 and they might work 40 hours a week, right? Like you get a developer from Vietnam for 30,000 a year and they're working 50, 60 hours a week, right?
Yeah.
It's
Exactly.
I don't know. I don't know how you fix that, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe they put a tariff on like outside, like out the U.S. You know, make it more expensive, like do the tariff system. I don't know, right?
No, well, so there is something in place already, by the way. I cannot deduct a non-US developer expense as an expense. I have to depreciate it over a much longer period of time than if I hire a US developer.
I did not know that. Yeah.
Yeah. So what that implies is that as a company, as a small startup company, I may not be profitable, but I may still have to pay taxes because my
Oh wow. Okay.
expense has
Did not know
been
that. That's a good thing to
depreciated
know.
for
It's a good thing to
15
know.
years. Yeah.
So when someone starts a company, or worse, when red flags to your head, like everyone says, you know, quick, keep them on to you, you know, never quit, whatever. But what are some red flags? Some people say, okay, like if I pass this threshold, like maybe like never mortgage your house, or maybe your house goes down. What are some red lines people should not cross?
When starting a company,
Yeah.
I think, I think it's the other, like people sometimes keep doing it too long. They should see the signals that they've tried. Like, you know, you kind of go in there with a couple of experiments, 2 or 3, maybe 6 experiments that you can try, and give yourself that grace that, hey, I'm gonna try these based on the investment that I have or time that I have, and then if nothing works, nothing sticks, then go. So you have to have some clear metrics about like what success is in any of these experiments, and up front, even before you start those experiments. And if nothing is working, then you have to stop. You have to figure out, okay, I have to go do something else. And we've come close to that a couple of times at Pictory, and fortunately we were able to get past it.
So next, you also did a post about comparing Seattle startup environments with San Francisco, right? I think you made some good points. I see San Francisco definitely has like advantage in VC stuff like that. Like, I'm a big critic of Seattle VCs. Like, it's not like, you know, they want like A-round metrics for pre-seed, you know, and like, it's not like they're more like small business bankers sometimes, right? I mean, we both know the stories like people got no here, went somewhere else, the Bay Area, New York City, got funding within, you know, pretty cool amount of time, right? And I know a lot of friends are frustrated about it, right? But like you said, maybe Seattle's more for like, you know, like the bootstrap, build a long-term business versus the Bay Area scale VC thing.
I think so. I mean, Seattle has good VCs. I'm not going to criticize any. I mean, we have a couple of Seattle VCs who funded our business, and they've been good. They've been really good, and I was fortunate enough because I had a successful exit the first time around to.
And that helps out big time, right?
Considered, yeah, and I see that as a criteria for some of the VCs. But yeah, it's there's a lot more. Like there's probably 10 times more VCs or more than 10 times.
I think in the Bay Area, I think like last year they invested like, I'm making this up obviously, like the Bay Area they invested $1 billion in startups. In Seattle's like maybe 100 million. You know,
Yes,
like
yes.
it's not even close.
It's a couple of orders of magnitude bigger. Yes,
It's not even close at all. And so you raised also in the raising Bay Area also, I guess.
No, we've
No.
only raised from Seattle. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So what do you think? What's your outtake or your take on the Seattle tech startup environment?
I think it's great. Every time I've interacted with people who are trying to build companies here, I see how much talent there is.
Mm.
Like they've worked many years at Microsoft or Amazon, and they've built a lot of expertise in certain areas. So, um, but I think everybody kind of struggles with some of the same things. Is like, okay, I'm trying to raise funding, or I don't have enough expertise around for advice, because that's another thing that comes from having a lot of startups.
Mm.
Like again, Bay Area probably has 100 times more
Yeah.
startups there,
Mm.
and that many more people around who've been in the startup ecosystem. So and then also, like, there's a customer community there too. Like if there are people who are trying to take advantage of the latest in AI, like a big company, Walmart, trying to take advantage of AI enabled technologies, they might open up an office in San Francisco,
Mm.
or the Bay Area to attract, to find the best potential technologies. So there's a lot of like potential
Mm.
customers nearby there
Yeah.
as well, which is also a big advantage for the Bay Area.
So from your point of view, what do you say like one of the advantages of being in a Seattle tech scene?
I think the it's there's if you're gonna do things in a different way, if you're gonna do things in a more bootstrap way, if you're gonna do things that you want to build longer term value, and you want to attract talent that
Mm.
you may not get that kind of talent in the Bay Area.
Mm.
That like a person who's been 20 years at Microsoft and now is looking for interesting opportunities, they may not move to the Bay Area.
Mm.
So there is some real advantages that that you can have in the Seattle area, and then people are going to stick, so that the retention is going to be higher. The balance of life, I think the work-life balance is much better here. My son is building a startup in San Francisco,
Mm.
so I have a day-to-day
Uh-huh.
comparison. I can see.
And then what's something like you wish Seattle would do better as far as Seattle tech startups?
I think the startups are doing great. The if I look at the phrase I hear from the VCs is, I wish the Seattle tech startups told a bigger, bolder story.
Mm.
Um, but also it's culture, like that staying more humble and
Yeah.
grounded is kind of more of the vibe here.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good point. I mean, like I talk to a lot of founders, startup people. Like it's amazing, like the stuff people are building, right? You're like man, like how are you not funded yet, right? But like you can't fund everyone, right? Like I criticize VCs a lot, but man, like I do stuff with Earth VC now, helping like source startups. And like I did a post on LinkedIn say basically, hey, I'm helping Earth VC find startups to invest in. Within days, I got so many pitch decks, right? And like Earth VC, they invest like deep tech, climate stuff mainly, right? Robotics, AI. I'm getting pitch decks from people like doing taxes of fintech. Like, man, like what are you doing, right? Like this is nowhere close to their investment thesis, right? So I can't imagine the decisions have to make as far as like funding someone, right? Like what makes one company better than another one? Of course, like you said, like maybe because they're second time founder, third time founder, or maybe you know someone. Yeah, I don't know.
It's a hard job, that scouting and
Yeah,
finding the right deals. I don't envy the VC's job right now.
no, no. And obviously your company's like worldwide, right?
We're worldwide, customers, employees, everything. Yes,
Okay,
but headquartered here
all right.
in
So
Seattle.
back to remote work. Go talk more about how remote companies like yourself, you need to be like you need to work harder and not less.
Can you repeat that question?
As like so as far as it's like for us remote work or remote company, as a leader you have to work harder, not less, right?
Yes.
You know about that. It's like you have to like focus on communication, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and it's. I think building. Here's the hardest thing I feel. The hardest thing is culture. Building culture is a hard thing anyway, and building culture remotely,
Yeah.
it's just 10x harder, and that just means a lot more meetings, a lot more
Mm.
being on the phone just all the time, and being on all the time. So I think that's what makes it hard and not less work.
So what does it mean? You always talk about democratizing video creation and content repurposing for everyone. What does that even mean? Like, how do you democratize video creation?
Yeah, so making traditionally video has been the purview of certain videographers, designers, people who can pick up tools from Adobe or Final Cut Pro, and that's hard. I tried to pick up those tools, and they were really hard for me to use, and so the whole point of us starting Pictory was, can a business person, like can a product manager, a product marketer, a marketer, anyone who's not necessarily a designer, can they make videos too? Because we feel like videos are everywhere now. The demand for that is not getting lower. So democratizing video for us means anyone should be able to create, edit videos, and repurposing essentially means, you always have other ways in which you present content. You may have PowerPoint decks. You may have these long video recordings like podcasts. You may have blogs. You may have other ways, PDFs. Every different format, you can try to turn that into a video and get that content out there in different ways.
And so you have a lot of stats, like 3.2 million stories, 183,000 hours of video created. These stats, I guess, coming from like internal dashboards that y'all have?
Yes.
Okay.
So we have, because we have a lot of customers. We have, over 30,000 paying customers and then millions of free users and stuff. So we get a lot of people using the product over time, and then we have dashboards that we maintain internally.
And so is this for like enterprise companies or anyone from one person creator, like doing something or whatever it is, to like large companies, or is it like specific audience you go after?
So the specific audience really is around the use case, but the size is not that much of a consideration. So the use case specifically that we focus on is training. So sometimes training content is being built by a one-person company. Sometimes it's built in a L&D department at a large company, and everything in the middle.
So what happened? Talk about the point in time where you're like, okay, I might have something up Victoria, right? This might actually work. What happened? What was like the case that like sparked that? Like, okay, I'm on the right path. I might have a successful company here.
Yeah. So when did we realize product market fit is your question. We started out again with the thesis that, hey, business people need a way to create videos easily. And I was one of the potential users. Like I wanted to build it for myself, and my co-founder is in the similar boat. So we started building it, and we built something. We showed it to a lot of people, and we talked to a lot of people. So the problem resonated very quickly. That, hey, if you had a solution to this problem, we would buy. Everybody said it. Like 100% of the interviews said that. We built the product, and we tried to go to the same people we talked to before, and we showed them, and like nobody told us directly that, hey, they're not interested, but
that's the problem a lot of founders have, right?
Yes.
They get the positive feedback, and then they build it, and they're like, they get crickets. Like,
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So until somebody actually puts their credit card in, so we got a few people to buy, but it was just not enough to kind of build a business around. And then we tried a lot. Like it felt like pushing rope uphill. We improved the product. We added a lot of features and tried to kind of see. So what we realized what was happening was that perhaps, and this we learned later, that the product was fine. The market we were pitching to at that time was not the right market.
Yeah, a lot of people get that wrong too, right?
Yes. So product market fit has two components, right? The product and the market.
Yeah.
So you can get one right, but not the other. So we tried selling that same product that we had built to a different market. Now this time, earlier we were going after larger companies or enterprises and stuff. We did a small experiment to say, hey, can we pitch it to SMBs, to small businesses, to solopreneurs, agencies? And suddenly we saw a huge uptick. So the same product pitched to a different market through a different channel, it worked
And how did you decide? How did you decide like pitch to this different market?
It was a Hail Mary
Hail
experiment.
Mary. Okay.
Yeah, it's like, okay, this is not working. Let's try this.
Okay.
And we used a platform called AppSumo.
I know that. I know
You
them.
know AppSumo, yeah.
Is that the one out of Austin, Texas?
Yes,
With
yes.
I think Noah Hagen.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, he was a former Facebook guy. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So he and the cool thing about that is it's a lifetime deal. So people buy
Yeah.
a lifetime version of
Yeah.
the software instead of paying subscription. So there's a lot of people who are attracted to that, especially in SMBs.
Mm.
And
Yeah, I know a lot of companies get started on AppSumo.
yeah.
I haven't. I used to get his like stuff all the time on LinkedIn, Facebook. I haven't seen him on social media for a while for some reason. Maybe my algorithm just like changed or something. I don't know.
I don't know that he's still running it, but I know he was one of the founders. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. So what's the fundamental problem you're solving with Victoria?
It's the difficulty of creating videos. We're making it easy.
Okay.
And the second problem that we found with training videos is they're kind of boring. So we're trying to make it.
Yeah, just a little bit.
interactive.
Yeah, just a little bit. Yeah.
We're trying to make
Death by
them-
PowerPoint and all, death by video, all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, we're trying to make them more interesting, make them more engaging.
Yeah. So how does it actually work? Is all AI stuff like that? Like a user says, "Hey, make me a video doing X, Y, Z," and it just does it automatically, so to speak.
That's kind of the idea. So you can do in a couple of different ways. You can start with a prompt saying, "Hey, I want to make a safety training video about walking in Pioneer Square," for example, and it'll come up with a script. It'll use a combination of visuals from, like, we have a huge library that we've licensed from Getty and Shutterstock. So the AI will search the library first. It'll find some matches. It might stitch those together. Sometimes it'll automatically generate a visual for you based on what it found. If it didn't find a good match, it'll generate a Pioneer Square visual, and then it'll stitch all that together into a storyboard and then add a voiceover, automatic narration with AI, add music, add transitions.
And so have you found like the platform is like 99% accurate, 95%? Because I thought to you AI, you might say, "Hey, do a video of a shot glass and a water bottle," and it'll like make something. Like, most times it's good, but sometimes it's not good, right?
Sometimes it's not good. So
Yeah.
you have to. There is a human in the loop
Yeah.
that you have to kind of verify everything, and then if you're good, but it still saves a lot of time.
Yeah.
from
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
the starting.
Yeah. Can you talk about your pricing? Like, don't give the details because it's on your website. People can look it up. But like, can you talk about the process of figuring out your pricing?
I think of pricing as an experiment all the time. So we have different tiers right now based on it's typically user based and number of video minutes that you, and then there's tiers for that, and you can pick one of the tiers. But then we've recently added AI credits, and so now there's AI credits in each tier. We might do an experiment where we merge AI credits and video minutes. We might do so it's constant experimentation of features, the actual headline number, and what you're offering, what the value is, and who it's.
And you said you have like 30,000 customers.
Yep.
So how does this work, right? 30,000 customers. I have to imagine the data that you're storing has to be like immense, right? It is like do you have your own internal data storage, or like does the data get cut off for a certain amount? Because that has to be a big expense for you, I would think.
Yeah, it's a huge expense. We pay a lot to the Amazon,
Yeah.
AWS. That's where our data lives, and we have our own data center too. We also use Azure. We also use Google Cloud. We have used everything, and so yeah, there's a lot of data.
So when a customer signs up, suppose a customer sign up, I'm making this up, like a January 1st, 2023, right? You store all the data all the time, or after a certain amount of time, you delete the data.
If you're paying, as long as you're paying, you keep the data.
Okay.
If you stop paying, if you cancel the subscription, then we keep it for a certain time and then we delete it.
Okay. All right. So this is like mainly for training. Any like certain industries that y'all focus on?
It's very horizontal, but we do find certain industries where this is kind of more useful. We find tech industry,
Mm.
sales training is very useful for that. We find healthcare, anything related to
Mm.
healthcare and pharma, very useful for that because the stock content is really good
Mm.
for healthcare. And we're finding some manufacturing industry use cases.
That makes
So,
sense.
yeah.
Yeah. And so you said you raised funds for Pictoria, correct?
Yes.
Have you finished raising funds, or are you going to do another fundraise?
We've done a couple of fundraising rounds,
Okay.
and now we are actually generating cash.
Okay.
So we don't need to raise
Nice.
any more money.
That's always a good thing, right?
Yes, yes. If you can turn into, I call it escape velocity. You reach the escape velocity as
Yeah.
you're cash flow positive.
So you founded the Wind Shuttle back in 2003. Now Pictoria and the AI era, right? What are some different things you had to do across both startup eras, so to speak?
It's really two different eras, and it's really two different, completely different things. Like that was an on-prem software that people would install on their desktops, connect to SAP, and so it was you would download and install it. This is all on the cloud, so the whole how we distribute it was very different, right? How we can see, like we had no visibility of what users were doing at Wind Shuttle because it was installed on premise, so we didn't connect it to the internet. Now we have like all the time visibility of what users do with our platform, completely like real time. Um, the As a result, the costs are very high. The cost of software, cost of delivery, we call it COGS, cost of goods sold, is much higher on the cloud versus on-prem. So there's a lot of differences like in how the business operates. How we also used to sell, there was a perpetual license plus an annual maintenance. I don't know if you remember the old days of how that's how software used to be sold. Now it's all subscription.
So is it safe to say, in your mind, like Pictoria's like a successful company right now?
Things are changing so fast every day. Today, I will say I'm successful. We're a successful company. We're doing great. But the markets are changing very fast.
So having said that, do you think if you wouldn't have the first company, all of us has learned that you'll be successful with the second one?
So I'll tell you a few different things that having a successful first company helps you with. Fundraising, it was helpful because you had a successful exit before. It was helpful to get a team together because we picked some of the best people we worked with for the second company. And maybe some of the experiences, but largely like market and customers are completely different in any company. So I don't think I could say I learned anything about that market that helps me here, or the way business worked in the IT SAP space versus how it works in the video space. So there's some knowledge that transfers easily, some core business fundamentals, but market knowledge is very, very different.
So how do you think you personally got better as a CEO the second time around?
So I'll tell you my other story, other part of my story about Wind Shuttle. So I started in 2003. About the first 7 years, I ran it as a CEO. And then we got to pretty successful, like we were about 100 people, and I was feeling less confident about my skills to get this further. So I hired a CEO. And it was kind of a funny relationship. I stepped into a CTO role at Wind Shuttle and brought this person from outside to be the CEO. And it was, as a chairman of the board, he was reporting to me, but as a CTO, I was reporting to him. So it's kind of a funny relationship. But we got along great, and my whole point was to watch him operate, like how a professional CEO would operate. And I would say he was responsible for the next stage of success of Wind Shuttle tremendously. It's like he got us to from the initial like 50, 70 people to 300 people, and it was just a great journey. And I was able to learn a lot just watching how he operated and all the different things that I wasn't good at. So that helped me at Wind Shuttle, at Pictory a lot now. In that, okay, here's how I'm gonna do things. One thing I realized is I wanna lead it now. I can do it. I have the confidence. And the second thing is like all the things that I learned from, how he did it.
So y'all have done 3.2 million stories. What are some stories or ways people use your company that kind of surprised you?
So I didn't build it. So there were two use cases that we were originally building it for. We built it for marketing videos, which is obvious, like promotional videos and stuff like that. And then we were building it for training videos. So as I mentioned, corporate training that's our core use case. What I saw people using it for has also been creating reports. Like here's my performance review. Here's how the system worked. All kinds of because in a company, there's all kinds of reporting that happens. Like people report to each other, to their leaders, to their teams about how this system worked or how what I did worked out. So as I was looking at some of those videos, I was surprised. I'm like, this is not a training video. This is not a marketing video. It's actually a feedback or a reporting video. And people were, so I don't have a term for it, but it's just like, we use PowerPoints all the time for giving status reports to our managers or status reports to our teams. And people were using video status reports.
So how often do you or someone else goes suppose there's a shot glass company making videos, right? How often you go to your customers, look through their videos to see what they're doing, or is it like a data breach thing that you can't do?
No, we take permission and we look at. We are able to look at them, but we talk to customers all the time, and they'll share their videos with us. So me and my co-founders, my entire leadership team, we're talking to customers on a daily basis.
Okay, talk about the importance of that. I think a lot of people build a product, get a few customers, and they forget you did customer discovery. Don't stop talking to customers. Right? Talk about why so many founders stop talking to customers. Unfortunately.
Yeah, that's an unfortunate thing that you stop talking to customers because markets shift. Customers, they might be looking at other products. That's just one reason why you should talk to customers, but also look at how they're succeeding with it. It's a subscription business. There's a renewal involved. So talking to customers is important even for that. Are you gonna get a renewal in?
Yeah, definitely. So what for your customers, what are customers telling you are the biggest ROI from using your company? Do they increase KPI, increase whatever? What are they getting out of it?
The biggest thing is the time saving, and not even cost, because they will tell us that they saved a lot of costs from not hiring agencies to build these videos. But it's time. It used to take me a month to do the videos. Now I can do it in less than a day, in half a day, and so that's kind of the biggest value ROI.
So you lead your company across product, engineering, business. That's a lot of stuff you're doing, right? How do you keep from yourself being the bottleneck for progress at your company?
I think one of the things I mentioned a lot was trust. So, in fact, we have a set of values called Credo that we talk about, and part of that Credo is creativity, respect, expediency, data, and openness. So, by giving respect to every manager for their own job, you're actually creating self accountability and not micromanaging it. So I'm not a micromanager. I kind of give full control, allow people to do their own thing. So that helps you to address what you asked.
Can you talk about this? Of course, people want to start a company, build a product, sexy AI, raise funds, but the probably most important part of being a business owner is the non-sexy stuff, the accounting, the bookkeeping, the taxes, right? Can you talk about how you handle quote unquote all the non-sexy stuff?
I have a CFO who does that. But in the beginning, I was doing all of that.
Smart move, yeah.
Yeah, you have to do it all because you have to. In the beginning, you can't afford a CFO, but yes, so you you build all the systems and you build all the processes to do that. But that's really important because that's cash is king, and you have to have your pulse on cash every day.
And your company's headquarters in Seattle, Bellevue, or someplace else?
Bothell, Washington.
Bothell, okay, Bothell. So, um, does the elected official really matter in running a business? Like, does it matter who the mayor is or governor is or anything like that, or like business just business regardless?
Not in a day-to-day. I don't
Yeah.
think it matters. I know Seattle has been talking about all these new taxes, and Washington
Yeah.
has new taxes under consideration. So I'm not looking at moving, but there has been a lot of chatter in our
Yeah.
board and stuff.
Yeah. So back to India, right? So, what's something about India you wish more people in the United States knew?
That's a really good question, and I like we talk about this all the time, um, my my family and and it's like because I just came back from India in January, and there is a big culture difference, of course. Um, the the connections that people have with their families are just super strong,
Mm.
and I mean, I can't say 100%, but it's actually like, so that's one thing that I wish, you know, Americans were were more. They see the importance of family a lot more than I see them. Like I see that as a big difference.
Yeah.
in
And then the
cultures.
opposite question: what's something about America you think
Like
wish more Indians knew?
Yeah, and I think I would say that it's the opposite of that, which is the fierce independence, the culture of independence. That I could do this myself, and anything is possible. That I wish more Indians adopted that too.
I said, no, India has a lot of software developers, a lot of engineering talent, a lot of entrepreneurs. Would you say the entrepreneur spirit's the same in both countries, or is like one is different?
I think the animal spirit is very similar. Yes, I think there is more youth there. There's more younger people there in India. So you see a lot more energy in the entrepreneur community. But I think if I go to San Francisco, I see something very similar.
Yeah. So how do you like do your schedule? Like, do you like work Monday to Friday, 9 to 5? I mean, obviously you don't. You just said you do work 6 a.m. But like, how do you do your schedule? Like, it's a flex schedule every week, or how's that work for you?
Yeah, it has to be pretty flexible. But I try to make time for my meditations. I try to make time for my exercise routine in the middle of the day usually.
And then how you go about like as far as taking time off? Do you like take 2 weeks a year, 30 days a year, take off when you want to, or how's that work for you?
No, I do take some time off. I try to take, usually it's like a week or 2 week long breaks, and I'll take it off. And I'm really grateful to have a great leadership team that I can just delegate everything to.
So, do you think AI is going to shorten attention spans, or do you think AI is actually improving knowledge retention?
Both.
Both. I believe the same thing. Yeah.
Yes. I think you've seen like with videos and stuff, like we're not, the focus has shifted.
Yeah.
And but at the same time, like we all watch long form content
Yeah.
on Netflix. I mean, hours long things.
Yeah. So, what do you think is the future of AI?
I think it's amazing. There's like the potential of people to do so many things is unbelievable. And I'll give you some of the things that we're doing that are happening in our company. Every developer is now using AI, and we feel like the teams are 30-40% of our code is now AI generated. The teams are telling us that they're experiencing that they're 30 to 40% more productive faster because of AI. So what that means is, yes, we may not end up hiring as many people as we would have in the past to grow, but the speed at which we can innovate now is so much faster, even with a smaller team.
So what's something negative about AI?
Um, I hear all these stories about people using them as their only friends and relying on that too
Or
much.
like as a psychologist or physical therapist or like mental therapist? Yeah, it's
Therapist,
fucking
and
that's
then
crazy. That's insane.
yeah, you've heard of some suicides that
Yeah.
people kill them. That is scary to me. The the disinformation part is the other scary part, like the ability for it to create. I mean, it hallucinates. I know that
Yeah.
in ChatGPT, but deliberate obfuscation of facts and stuff that just becomes so much easier.
So does ChatGPT, Gemini, Cloud, Google, all this other stuff? Do you have a favorite one that you go? Is like your go-to?
Um, ChatGPT, Gemini, both. I have also used Manas
I haven't heard that
recently. I
one.
mean, US Facebook just bought them. Meta just
Okay.
bought Manas, uh, and for certain use cases, I find that very useful. But yeah, ChatGPT is my go-to. We have an enterprise license for it, so
Oh, do you?
we all
Okay.
have rolled it out to everyone. But then Gemini, I'm finding a lot of good use cases for.
Yeah. So what advice you have for anyone like wanting to start an AI company?
Um, don't start an AI company just for being an AI company. Find the problem that you're trying to solve with AI, and I think that's kind of the applied AI is where the value is going to be. And I think if you can expedite something, speed up something, solve a real world problem with AI, that's the type of problems we need to find.
So how do you personally stay up to speed on everything that you're doing, all the AI stuff, all the engineering stuff? Like how do you? It changes so often, right? It's so fast, like in the tech world. How do you make sure that you're like up to date?
Lots of newsletters, lots of YouTube videos, lots of
YouTube University,
LinkedIn.
right?
Yeah, lots of LinkedIn. Yeah.
Yeah. So what's like one of your favorite things about doing this company? What's the most fun about it for you?
It's always customers. It's customers doing really amazing videos with our product. That always like tickles me. And it's, so somebody's finding value, and they paid you for it, and it's that's the best part of any business, I suppose.
So I'm guessing you have a lot of KPIs, a lot of metrics, a lot of data you track internally and whatever. But what's like the one metric you like watch daily? Like this, if no other metric, you're gonna check this metric out.
It's annual recurring revenue.
I mean, that's a damn good answer. Yeah, can't beat that one. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Um. So what's your advice for creators using your platform?
Yeah. We do have a lot of creators, like YouTube creators, people who are creating social media content. Sometimes they are independent, sometimes they're part of businesses,
Mm.
but they all have the creator titles. And so if you have tried Pictory, maybe in the past, my advice is try it again.
Mm.
It's constantly evolving. We've added a lot of new things, including an AI studio where you can actually do all the generative
Mm.
images, generative videos within Pictory. We've added avatars recently.
Mm.
Um, Now we're gonna let next month we're gonna let you clone yourself,
Mm.
your face and your voice, and create your own avatars in the
Is
videos.
that part of the AR VR stuff I thought I read about?
Yeah, it's. I mean, it's not part of AR VR, but it's basically, yeah. It's we're calling it our AI studio,
Okay.
and we're calling it yeah.
So what happens when someone tries to make a video like it's kind of, we'll say, illegal, right? Like it's like,
If you uh, if you're gonna if you're gonna clone your voice or
mm,
your face, we actually explicitly ask permission. Like you have to say
okay,
something very specific that when you're recording it, so you can't get that from a generic person. So we're trying to kind of we're trying to make it safe and
mm,
ethical,
okay.
and we want it to be ethical.
Is there an age limit to use your platform?
Uh, there isn't in
Okay,
there right now. We do have a lot of kids who use it
uh,
for their school projects
yeah,
and stuff.
okay. So what is a creator from your point of view? What makes someone a creator?
I think I'm a creator. You're a creator. We are applying our skills to create something, to whether create a business, create some content for for online use, create a piece of software. We have a lot of creators.
Is there a difference between being a creator and a builder, or are they kind of interchangeable, creating and building?
I see it interchangeable, but if it's a person building a house or a building, I don't know if I'll call them a creator. So I would say more um, applying your
Mhm.
brain to create something.
Um, do you have any? Do you have any mentors?
I have a lot of mentors. Yeah, some of them are on my board members. Others are just some friends. My wife is a great mentor.
And are you mentoring anyone?
I mentor a lot of startup founders as well. Yes.
And how's that go for you? How's that work?
Um, it's really fulfilling in in multiple ways. I think the feeling of being able to speak from
Mm-hmm.
experience and have a light bulb
Mm-hmm.
go off in their head
Mm-hmm.
is amazing. It's the greatest feeling. I mentor my son, my daughter-in-law. They're both running their own
Yeah.
startups, and they'll call me like, okay, I'm facing this challenge. What should I do? And I'm like, I'll give them some piece of advice that I've learned from the past, and it'll be really eye-opening for them. And I feel like it's very gratifying. Um, and but I think where the best value of mentorship comes from is repeated touch bases.
Mm.
So it's not a one-time activity. Mentorship is never a one-time activity. Like it's like, okay, we talked about this stuff. What's going on with that? What's your progress? So it's almost like, as a mentor, you're holding the entrepreneur accountable almost.
Yeah. So you talk about your company some. Can you go like more detail, like how the company got started, what you focus on now, what your big dream vision is for the company moving forward?
Yeah. So as I mentioned before, when we started, it was basically any kind of videos for business people, and we didn't get that fit there, so we kind of tried to find the right fit with another market, which is the SMBs and the creator segment. Where we are now coming back to is the larger companies, and that's our vision for the future is more and more training teams within corporates using Pictory, and that's kind of our goal is to try and make those corporate training videos more engaging, less boring, and allow people to make it really fast, and everything, and using AI for doing all of those things.
And does your pricing change on the size of the company? Like you charge more for enterprise versus a one person startup?
Yeah, the enterprises, there's the several features that only enterprises care for. So then we have a separate pricing for that.
Okay. And I guess, like you said before, you still experiment with pricing. You still validate pricing almost on like a monthly basis, almost
Quarterly, at
quarterly.
least. Yeah.
Okay. What's a company that uses your platform that you're like kind of surprised to use it? Like it's like industry like you would not expect to use your platform.
Initially, the surprising one was schools.
Schools.
Yeah, some high school teachers, some students, and stuff like that. But now we have a lot of schools who use the product for like content. Again, I think educational videos has become our bread and butter because of that, because people are using it in the schools.
And what's the industry you thought would like definitely use your platform? Not many companies for this industry are actually using your platform, but you thought, man, for sure, we'd have a lot of customers from this industry.
I would love to have more customers in the manufacturing industry. We
Okay.
have a few, but just not enough. One other industry that we haven't been able to somehow penetrate, I would love to figure out finance and insurance.
Okay.
Like that one is, there's a lot of training need there.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Good corporate training.
So how do y'all do your marketing, right? Like,
We have a lot of different marketing channels. So like the three or four big strategies that we use are, of course, the paid advertising, like search and social search,
Yeah.
as well as Google search and stuff. Then the second one is we have a lot of affiliate partners. So a lot of people who run businesses who have a lot of following and they want to tell their world about Pictory, and then we pay commissions on every sale. So that's a big part of our business, of our customers, new customers coming in. The third one is, and it's a mishmash of things because we call it organic, and organic is everything. It's like SEO, AEO now with the answer engines, and also social media. So a lot of LinkedIn. I'm very active on LinkedIn, as you've seen.
And how do you do your sales? I'm guessing you don't cold call or cold email people with your platform. Like, how do you go about actually doing the sales?
So right now, most of the sales happen like inbound. People request they want to talk to sales, and then we have one of my founders is leading the sales effort.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so, do you also live in Bothell?
I live in Bothell, yes.
So the company and you live there, right? Is Bothell, do they have their own like separate Seattle tech community, or is Bothell considered part of the greater Seattle Bellevue Tacoma society?
It's greater Seattle. Yeah,
okay.
It's greater Seattle, and it's I think Bothell has a couple of tech parks there, and it's not known for tech. It's more known for biotech.
Okay.
So there's a lot of biotech companies in Bothell.
Bothell's like what, 30 minutes north of Seattle?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, yeah.
And they have a camp, like a branch there too, University of Washington, right?
Yes, UW Bothell. Yes.
It's like a separate campus, though.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's very nice, very beautiful, small campus.
Yeah. And your PhD is in engineering, correct? Was it electrical engineering?
It was biomedical engineering.
Biomedical engineering, yeah. What got you? Why do you pick that PhD for?
While I was doing my, so I'll tell you the story about because how I first got excited about AI. So I was an undergrad, and there was a paper that came out that described something called a perceptron, and that paper was written in like 1985 or something, and it was the first paper about neural networks, and I read that about when I was an undergraduate, and at that time, what the thesis of that paper was that, hey, we've learned something about the human biology that we can bring into computing, and we can try to simulate the human brain in computers, and like that just completely flipped me. I was so fascinated by that. Like it's like there's something in the human brain that we can simulate now, and actually make computers do some interesting things based on that. So I got very excited about that. So I got interested in AI from that, but I also got interested in biology. Like I would love to learn more about biology and how I can apply some of this engineering stuff that I was learning in the healthcare, in the medical domain, and so that's kind of what got me excited to apply to biomedical engineering for my grad school.
Do you think there's an industry that will not be affected by AI?
I think like there are things, construction industry and so on, but I think everything, like they'll be using software that will help them with AI, that AI will help them with, AI will help them. I think every industry is going to be impacted.
Yeah, I think when people don't realize, like our generation, like you remember the game Pong from back in the day?
Yeah.
We've gone from Pong to AI robots, right, in like 50 years, right?
Yes.
So, I mean, what do you think is going to happen in the next 20 years? What like tech predictions you have?
I am an optimist, so I feel like there's a lot of dystopian things you hear about, like, it's going to take away all our jobs and we're all going to be living on $1,000 a month or something. But I feel like even in our lifetime, we've seen a big shift. Like internet was a big shift, mobile was a big shift. Each of these waves created a lot more opportunities, a lot more in jobs, a lot more types of businesses. And I think we'll see a very similar thing. We'll see AI will take away tasks, but not jobs. Certain tasks are automated now.
I mean, it happens since the beginning of time. Like, case I use all the time, like back when we had horses and the car came, people were like, oh, but everyone shoving the horse shit off the street, they're gonna lose their job, Everyone make a sound to lose their job, right?
Exactly.
But something came over. I think the challenge is a lot of people don't want to invest themselves and like learn the new stuff, right? They're like so, I won't say stuck in their ways, but like stuck in their ways, right? Like they're used to doing this one thing and like they want to be able to do something. You have to in your 50s, 40s, whatever. Like, man, what's the thing? You can't teach the old dog new tricks. I mean, you actually can though, right?
Yes, yes. It's easy. Like I haven't found this stuff very hard to pick up. It's easy to pick up, but you just have to make it a habit out of it. Yeah.
What's the one way you use AI just for fun, right?
Uh, this hackathon that I'm doing, I built the whole website with Replit
Nice.
for registration and stuff like that. Um, I wanna build some games and stuff with that as a part of the hackathon.
Yeah.
But so yeah, I'm always exploring things. Just like, okay, what are the fun applications we can build with?
Have you used Cursor?
I haven't used Cursor.
I know a lot of people know they either use Cursor or Replit. I was gonna ask you if you use both. Which one do you like the best?
No, I only used Replit.
Replit.
I've used Lovable a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're a big Replit fan.
I'm a fan of Replit. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We built a new product in our business where our first two iterations of the product were completely done on Replit. And then we got the engineers involved, and they also completely used.
So how much coding knowledge does someone need to have to use Replit? None.
Not much at all.
Okay.
Yeah. But where it starts getting tricky is if something doesn't work, and then you have to figure out why it's not working.
Yeah.
It gets tricky. So that's where I was like, I'm glad I have some coding knowledge so I can go back and do this. And then scaling it. We haven't built anything for production use because we did get the developers involved eventually. But I bet scaling something for production use is gonna need some more technical chops.
What's your take on vibe coding? Because this is my thing. Like, people will always ask for vibe coding, but I was like, man, you better vibe coding. But is it actually? Can you actually scale it right?
Yes, scaling is the big thing.
Yeah, because vibe coding is like, I don't know. Can you actually scale it?
It's great for POCs. It's great for proof of concept prototypes.
How about is it good for MVPs also?
Yeah, I think so. I think you can get. I stopped. I used to use a lot of tools, even before Figma. Like, I'm not a designer, so I didn't even use Figma. But I would hand draw. This is how I envision.
Yeah, definitely.
The steps and then communicate that to the designer or the developer. And now I just, instead of doing that, I just vibe code a very basic proof of concept almost. It actually comes out even better than what the designer might have come up with.
Yeah. How long does it take for someone to become like a average developer, you think?
These days, probably weeks.
Weeks, yeah.
But when we were growing up, I mean, with being a developer, it would take years of coding and practice and learning.
You have to own, like, suppose someone's been developing, suppose you learn how to develop, like, for say in 1999. Only they think, like, you learn how to do it in 1999, you had to do all the stuff involved. Now you see these kids, like, coding, like, all this stuff within minutes, right?
Yeah.
It has to be frustrating now. We're thinking, right, man, what was this back in 1999, right?
Yeah. But it's great. Like, that's where I think kids coming out of college who know how to use AI, they all do, I think, now.
Yeah.
But I think they can be very productive employees very quickly.
So talk more about this hackathon, like when it's going to be, what's it about?
Yeah, so it's on February 28th at the Mill Creek YMCA. That's what the YMCA, my home branch. And it's for teens, so high schoolers usually. And the theme is they're all gonna vibe code apps for other high schoolers. So things that teens can use. Maybe it's financial management, maybe it's better time management, whatever they can come up with. Maybe it's games, maybe it's Roblox things, but teens building things for other teens.
And like, you're gonna have like a prize or anything like that, or
we're gonna have a prize, cash prizes.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, $1,000.
Oh wow,
for the winner. Yeah.
That's kind of motivating.
Yeah.
And can people still sign up for this?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I'll get the link to you and push it out. Yeah.
I'll share the link. Yeah.
Are you already have your judges for this already, or how is
I
that
have
going to be?
judges.
Okay.
I have mentors. I have a bunch of people signed up to help out.
Okay.
Yeah.
And also, you're doing this to get back to your community. But what do you personally get out of doing stuff like this? What's the benefit for you to do the hackathon?
I think I see value in vibe coding, and I see value in teaching vibe coding to kids. So to me, the personal benefit is like this lights
Yeah.
shining in the kids' eyes.
And the hackathon is gonna be like a weekend thing, like
Yeah, one day.
One day.
We're
So
saying come in at 9,
Okay.
stay until 7.
and they have to do like obviously they have to build it. They're gonna have to do like a pitch, all that kind of stuff. And
They have to do a demo at the end. Yes.
okay, do they have to like prove they have customers or anything? Like they have to prove they reach out to someone and like someone actually used it.
That would be great. That would be additional value add, but I don't think that's gonna be a
That's
requirement.
probably not realistic, huh?
Yeah.
And how many people are on the teams?
I'm asking for at least a 3 to 4 person team,
Okay,
but
now
no more than 6.
I'll make it. Like, suppose 100 kids come there, right? Do you assign the teams as they walk in? Like, how are the teams being assigned?
I'm asking them to sign up in advance as a team, but if they can't, like if they can't form the team, they can sign up
Yeah.
individually, and then initially we'll do a little like matchmaking
Yeah.
session.
'Cause I would think like if someone comes like 3 people already know each other, that's the advantage over 3 people to have worked together. You
Yes,
know.
Yes. Yeah. But even if you haven't, like we'll assign teams there.
Yeah, but interesting to see all the picture, right? Because the one thing I think for me, like public speaking is such a big skill that people need to learn, right? Especially at such a young age, right? So that's a good thing you're making them do that.
I'll tell you one other story.
Yeah.
Since we're on the hackathon theme, Pictory came out of a hackathon as well. So it was right here in downtown Seattle. 2019, we had something called the Seattle Angel Hacks, and I was free at that time. My other business had already sold, so I had like some time on my hands, and my son had graduated from college, and he was free. So he'd gone to a lot of hackathons. I've never been to a hackathon, and so he took me to this Seattle Angel Hacks, and we're like in the car, we're coming out. Okay, what shall we pitch? What shall we pitch? So he pitched this idea that hey, who wants to join us to make a video making tool with AI, and so we had a team formed right spontaneously. We had 5-6 people who came around, and we basically, this was before vibe coding, so they actually coded it all in 2 days. So it started on a Saturday morning, ended on Sunday afternoon. Some people like coded all night, and then we demoed it at the very end, and so the judges were VCs, a lot of Seattle VCs. So and we won the best of the show, and we got some cash prizes, some other gifts and stuff. And while the team was building it, I was calling around every like marketer I knew, like, hey, if you had a product like this, would you use it? So I was doing my market validation, that the team was doing the tech validation. Then the fact that we won, with VCs, we felt like, okay, this was a fundable idea. So we got a funding validation as well.
Nice. And so, like, how many countries is your platform being used in right now?
Oh, good question. I think over 100 countries.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, are you finding like like what your customers want in the United States is different from like other countries want? Do you have to like base your customer, whatever it is, based on the culture of the country and different things like that?
We haven't localized the software.
Okay.
Like it's not available. It's only available in English. So.
Okay.
You can make a video in Hindi. You can make a video in Chinese. You can make. So we support languages.
Okay.
But the main website is still English.
Okay. Okay. What's something that Pictory doesn't do right now that you want to do pretty soon? Like it's like in your product roadmap.
There are tons of things on our product roadmap. There's like so many things that I still want to do. I mean, I'll give you one example. Like, we talked about, so we have a function in there for to convert a PowerPoint to a video, right? But people get stuck in just creating a nice PowerPoint too. Sometimes people will spend hours in there. So there are tools like Gamma and stuff which help you create really nice PowerPoints. But I want to have like that experience of creating PowerPoints in there, integrated into that, so that whole, like you're actually creating a video presentation with some nice content and with animation. Like Gamma creates static presentations, and I wanna have like animated things that come up that explain a concept, and so there's tons of things like this on our roadmap that we can make it really easy.
So I'm guessing there's other companies doing sort of the same thing as you, right? Like you have competitors.
There is competitors everywhere in AI.
So do you ever like look at competitors like, oh wow, that's a cool idea, and I copy it, or like do you ever like look what competitors are doing? Oh wow,
Yes.
they're doing this right, they're doing this wrong.
Yes, all the time.
Yeah,
Yeah, my team. I don't personally. I don't like to look at competitors because then it kind of, you can kind of go into a hole
yeah,
and just constantly be analyzing what they're doing. Or so, but I know that our teams will sometimes refer. Oh, this feature was really nicely done in this tool. So let's.
it's kind of a compliment,
see
right?
what I can. Yes.
Yeah. So how do you go about this? Like suppose customers reach out to you on your platform and say, hey, we want this feature, right? When you decide, okay, we have enough customers asking for this for you to actually build it.
Yeah. So I have actually, what's interesting is my roadmap is completely public. So on our website, anyone can go today and give a feedback thing. This is the feature I want, and our team looks at that and decides like, oh, there's a lot of requests. For example, it's avatar feature that we just launched. Like that was the most requested feature in our roadmap from people. So public roadmap, and so that's one way we're like looking at people's votes. And then the second thing we're looking at is, okay, as I get on sales calls and what am I hearing from the customers, and how do we kind of align that as well. And then the third thing is there's a vision of where we're going, and so aligning the vision. So that prioritization of what goes in the product is really like a three-way street. You're looking at, okay, what the customers want and where you want to go, and you're trying to balance that.
So what's a feature that you did and afterwards you're like, okay, this feature is like kind of not working out like I wanted to, or this feature is really not doing what we thought it would do, and you kind of like you don't regret building the feature. You're kind of like, okay, maybe
Sunset it.
Yeah.
Okay. We do this all the time.
Okay.
Too. Yeah. We launched an integration with Hootsuite, for example, and we were not getting any users. We were hoping Hootsuite would help market and would get us out, but we were just not getting enough traction.
Okay.
So we killed that.
You talked about affiliate marketing earlier. Like, how do you find your like people to do affiliate marketing for you?
So I have a team of who basically recruits affiliate. We have a lot of people who apply on our website that they wanna market for us.
Yeah.
And then we're pretty selective. Like we look at how many followers you have and so on, and then we'll pick.
And like, do you know? Can you tell us like how many affiliate marketers you have? Like an estimate?
Thousands.
Okay. And you do like any kind of like, I don't know, yearly competition, like, you know, like if Jason got more companies, so you get them become a cash prize or something else?
We have bonuses all the time for affiliates. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
And like how much of your business gets driven from these affiliate marketers, you think?
About a third.
That's pretty high, isn't it?
Yeah, that's pretty high.
Yeah. Is there anything else that I asked you that I haven't, or anything else you want to talk about?
I mean, I think we've talked about my history, the Pictory, what it does, where we're going. We've talked about a bunch of things. It's been a lot of pleasure, Jason.
Thank you. How can people reach out to you and get in touch with you?
LinkedIn is the best way.
Yeah.
So Vikram Chalana, and I'm pretty active on LinkedIn.
On LinkedIn.
And check the direct messages as well.
That's your main social media then?
Yeah.
Okay. And y'all get a lot of benefit from using LinkedIn?
Some.
Yeah.
But it's like we have a company page too, and that gets a lot of attention.
Yeah, LinkedIn is just such an interesting beast, right? Like everyone has to use it, but it's like, man, the user experience is not the best, and you're right. Like you might post something that's really productive, you think it's do good, like add value, crickets. You like do a picture of drinking bourbon, it's like get thousands of views, right?
I know. It's kind of a hit or
It's so
miss,
frustrating, yeah.
Some of those pictures, but. What I really want LinkedIn to do is make a better messaging system. The messaging system sucks.
It does. Yeah, it does.
Yeah, because I mean, I got a lot of messages, and I just like I can't sort through them. There's no way to sort.
This thing I wish they could do, right? Like me, I get emails, LinkedIn messages all the time. Hey, Jason, love your podcast. We want to do X, like video, blah blah, whatever it is, right? Like, no, I don't want your stuff. Like, I'm not going to use your stuff, right? I wish they could like let you like ahead of time, like pick your spam filters, right? Like I don't hear from like YouTube creators or
That's right,
podcast editing or, like, another thing kills me too. I get these all the time too, right? Hey, Jason, my name is John Bob. I'm a financial advisor.
Oh
I live in Omaha, Nebraska. Like, dude, I don't fucking know you, right? Like, how does this work, right? Who's gonna like do the finance for somebody you don't even know, right?
yeah.
And I get it all the time, right? I guess it must be working, right? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, the hit rate doesn't have to be very high, but there is a lot of spam yeah, but it's just so hard to track the messages. There's so many of them. Sometimes I feel like I'm losing legitimate
Yeah, I mean, there are
messages
times
there.
like, man, I forget to follow up. I all these messages like, man, I'm supposed to follow up where John Bob, but then it's like there's really no way. Like, you can't put on photos or nothing like that,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
like,
yeah. You can't, and you don't even remember the name. Like who was that
no,
that
you don't.
reached
Yeah,
out? Yeah,
I don't know. It's like, unfortunately, it's the best thing out there right now. So until someone comes along and invents a new one, it's like it is what it is, I guess.
is that your go-to social media as well?
Yeah, for mine it's LinkedIn, TikTok, and YouTube. Yeah,
Oh, nice,
yeah, I'm big on TikTok. Yeah, I get a lot of followers there.
nice.
I'm not really on Facebook anymore. I post stuff there once in a while. I think Facebook, Instagram, you got to be like somebody really famous to do anything on there.
Yeah. How about X?
I used to get a lot of stuff on X. I'm not so much for it anymore. It's X is like, I don't know. So it's X. I do like, you ever do the X lists? So you can do lists on X. Like you like post. I have one list for deep tech people founders, one for like VCs,
Got it.
and so you can click on the list and like all those people on your list will come up. So it makes it easier to like post on it, right? But yeah, it's like, I don't know. I think X, I have all these people asking random questions. Of course, any platform, if you're like a good-looking female, you get more engagement versus.
I think so. People like us don't get as much.
No, no, not so much. But I mean, it's a game you got to play, right? I mean, if you have a business, you got to be on LinkedIn. If you're looking for a job, you got to be on LinkedIn, right? It's just so much noise, right? Do the best you can. So LinkedIn's the best one for you.
Yep.
So you take that pretty daily and whatever. And
Yeah. Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
all right. So if we get out here, can you give us a lot of value, a lot of good advice? Can you give us any last minute of wisdom on advice or anything you want to talk about?
I think there are a lot of people among us who want to be entrepreneurs, and but something's holding them back, and sometimes it's just a matter of like you feel like you don't have the right experience, or maybe you don't have the enough wherewithal to do this. And the nice thing about starting a business is you can start moonlighting it. You can do so. Just something that holds us back to pursuing a dream career. And I think like my only piece of advice for a lot of people is just do it. Don't like overthink things too much.
Vikram, thanks for your time today. I really appreciate it.
Great, Jason. Thank you so much.
And to our listeners, thank you for your time.